Joe didn't notice that Maisie inadvertently wore her Ready for Hillary t-shirt. That she had obtained just a few days earlier at the Harkin Steak Fry. Reporters from CNN and Politico interviewed Maisie for some quotes after the event and in front of the state capitol, and she provided thoughtful insights that appeared that same day in the media. She's an articulate speaker, which you'll find out in a second, and to both individuals and audiences. So campaign tactics like phone banking and canvassing were fairly new concepts to Maisie, aside from participating in the 2 Obama election cycles previous to that. She instantly became a pro at getting doors slammed in her face, and the recipient of even more rude and colorful behaviors on the phone. Instead of getting discouraged or beat down by the brutal schedule of a campaign, she sort of got a kick out of it and taught all the volunteers how to roll with the punches in a similar manner. Maisie is the master at finding a smaller goal that her team could strive toward and feel a true sense of accomplishment at the end of each night. She's managed to help build and maintain a hearty team of volunteers, both men and women, who spent countless hours this fall to advance the causes for political candidates who understand the importance of reproductive rights and healthcare priorities for women. As one of those volunteers, for many of those days and nights, I can say I learned a great deal and had a great deal of fun in spite of the tough election night results. A few dozen of us gathered in the Planned Parenthood conference room to cheer on the candidates we had worked so hard for. Maisie was our cheerleader, even during the recap meeting a few weeks later, and she helped us find a few bright spots. A fervent Democrat and a passionate feminist, and of course the secret's out of the bag, she also happens to be my daughter. We're excited to see what's next on this amazing Maisie's horizon. So if and maybe when we do see her name on some ticket for office, go ahead and feel very sorry for that person on the GOP side. We know she's a worthy recipient of this Rising Star Award.
Good for a tearjerker. Well, to speak just before the only woman to be elected as Iowa Attorney General and the governor who nominated her is no easy feat. So you will have to bear my use of notes. I, of course, want to thank my dad for nominating me for this award. He's seen a lot of good Democrats in action every day, and whatever progressive spark he sees in me was surely ignited by him. I would be remiss not to thank my husband, Matt, for always encouraging me and sharing in my political ways. My eternal gratitude goes out to the sage feminists in my life, from my mom to my Planned Parenthood cheerleaders over there. Even my 15-year-old sister, I have no doubt that she'll be up here speaking in a few years, so watch out for her too. And of course, to the great leaders at Don's List for seeing a potential in me worthy of Rising Star status. You see, this award is less of a title for me and more of a charge, an expectation, if you will. To lean in and lead fearlessly. What an opportunistic time to be a 23-year-old Democratic woman in Iowa. The future is bright, and I can't wait to see where it takes us. Thank you again.
Paula. I'm here. I'm doing something else. next assignment and honor is to introduce to you former Governor Chet Culver, who will do the honors for our next award.
Thank you very much, Paula, and good afternoon to all of you. My name is Chet Culver. I'm definitely not a political big shot, but I am a proud father. I like that line. That's really good. And it is really my privilege to be here with all of you, and congratulations to all the award winners, both past and present. It's a great day for you that are being acknowledged today, but we're also remembering those fearless leaders that led the way and paved the path. So I'm happy to be a part of this. And speaking of leading the way, I want to recognize Natasha Newcomb, your president at Dawn. I think it's fair to say without her help in my campaign for governor on the fundraising side, I would not have been elected governor. So thank you very much. And as many of those elected officials in the audience can relate with, it is nice to see people that helped you along the way, those that were out working tirelessly for you, move into the next stage, and that's leading. And that certainly was the case for me when I had the honor of working for Bonnie Campbell 25 years ago. It's hard to believe, but I was a young guy just out of college. I met the Iowa Democratic Party delegation in Atlanta, Georgia, at the convention, the Democratic National Convention, in the summer of 1988. I had an interest in politics, both because my father was a congressman and senator, but also because I majored in political science in college. And Bonnie Campbell gave me an opportunity to work as a field staffer. I worked with a number of people here in the room, including Mitch Henry, who was registering voters at the time. And I will never forget the fact that she gave me that chance to get out there and work on a very exciting presidential campaign in 1988. And then I had the honor of working for her as a field director in her successful bid for Attorney General in 1999, and she was elected the first woman ever as Attorney General in Iowa. So I think the toughest job I have today is staying within my 4 minutes, and I'm probably close to blowing by that, so sorry. But it's hard to talk about such an incredible career in 5 minutes or less. Bonnie Campbell has spent more than 40 years on the front lines advocating for those in our society that needed a voice. Bonnie has spent a lifetime achieving the American dream while always fighting to improve the lives of others, especially vulnerable women and children in our society who desperately needed someone in their corner. And Bonnie Campbell has always been there for those women and children in particular that needed a voice. She was inspired by Bobby Kennedy in 1965 to go to Washington, D.C. as an 18-year-old from upstate New York. Bonnie went and had an opportunity to work for the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. She went then to the United States Senate, where she was a staffer on the Senate Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, and it's there where she met her future husband, Ed Campbell, and United States Senator Harold Hughes, and then worked for Senator Hughes until 1974 when he left office. And very fortunately for the Culver family, she worked for my father from 1974 to 1981 and ran all of his offices here in the state as the statewide director for his U.S. Senate office. She then decided that it was time to go back to school, and she did something that very few people, I think, have ever done. Again, she was a high school graduate in 1981. Between 1981 and 1984, she earned her associate's degree from DMACC, her undergraduate degree from Drake, and her law degree from Drake. Wow. In that short period of time. While working, I might add. So don't let any young person or anyone ever tell you they can't do that.